What's up, everybody? I'm Mars, aka DM Warlos. Uh, I am here to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm super excited about it. This is actually my first video, the first video that I've ever put out on YouTube at all. And aside from some nerves, I'm really excited to do this. It's a big step for me. I've been consuming D&D content on YouTube for the past 3 years at kind of a breakneck pace. I've been watching all these different videos from fantastic content creators. And just off the top of my head, I actually have a list here, so if you'll give me a second and indulge me, I will tell you exactly who they are. So, specifically, and usually people leave a special thanks for later, but I just want to lead with this, and there's a reason for it. Matt Colville, Dungeon Craft, the Taking 20, Runesmith, Davvy Chappy, AJ Pickett, Arcane Forge, Tulok the Barbarian, Zee Bashew, GM Tips, specifically with Satine Phoenix, but also with Matt Mercer, Mythology and Fiction Explained, Dungeon Coach, Puffin Forest, Monarch's Factory, and XP to level 3. You all helped me find ways to really expand upon the game and really give me the confidence I needed to become a DM. I have been playing D&D for 25 years, mind you. The first game that I ever played, I was 13 years old, and we had just discovered this red box that a friend had brought over. We had no idea how to play, we had no clue. It was just this box with like one set of dice, and we just sat around and, played through an adventure. And little did I know that it would lead to me playing all these other different games over the next couple of decades. But yeah, I'm here to talk about D&D, and the reason why I'm here to talk about D&D specifically is because I think 5e has done something really interesting. And there are a lot of criticisms about the edition, and and I'm the first person to want to hack rules together, but I will say that it's the game that had it's the edition that had the lowest barrier to entry, and that's important because it's the edition that helped more people find the hobby. And I know there's a lot of people attribute that to like the success of Critical Role, and I agree to an extent, though I've never seen like a full episode. I just have a hard time with like real play, which is maybe something I should get over. But yeah, I think it has to do with how accessible it is. The rules are simple. The rules are simple to learn. The artwork itself took big steps to being more inclusive. Racial for races and genders in general, and I think that they took a bunch of good steps. I know that there are a few missteps. There are criticisms over Curse of Strahd, and of course the Tomb of Annihilation and the treatment of Chult. But aside from that, I think in general it's going in the right direction. And I know that there are a lot of veteran players who would disagree with me, but fuck it, I don't care. I think I like it. I like the idea of having more people play the game. And the reason why I decided to record this video, was because despite how great all of these content creators were and like how much they inspired me, they don't look like me. And before you get into your reverse racism stuff, if you do and you leave it in the comments, I'm just going to ignore you. What I mean by that is like, I'm a big believer in representation. Representation is important. I just happened to find D&D when I was a kid. And finding D&D allowed me for the first time in my life to be my own hero. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and at that time there weren't a lot of biracial chubby heroes, or just like biracial, or even like black. Let's be honest, there wasn't anything. There wasn't anyone that I could look up to in the sci-fi landscape. And by playing D&D, not only did I get over my own shyness and discover a bunch of skills that like stood with me the rest of my life, I learned a resourcefulness and, you know, social skills that I didn't have before playing, or at least I didn't really express them. I was too shy. But the game taught me that, and it let me feel like a hero, and that's a big deal. And I think that right now we're at a point where culture is extremely divided, and I know for a lot of people that feels oppressive, but for the rest of us, it feels like we're finally being let in a way. It feels like we can participate. It feels like we don't have to live through proxy and we can be ourselves. So the reason why I'm starting this channel is because I think that if I can help inspire somebody else, the way Matt Colville inspired me, or the way that all these other great content creators inspired me, the WebDM, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, but I also love your guys' work. What you've done for me, I want to share with other people, because I think that if they can, if I can share how much the hobbies helped me, and if I can also make it fun and make it interesting, and inspire more people to play, then I'm just passing that torch forward, and I think that's a great thing to do. Gaming and storytelling itself is an amazing experience. It's one of those things that ties you back to, you know, millennial traditions of storytelling. Like, I can't think of anything else where I can have a shared memory over something that's imagined. You know, I played with my friends for 25 years, and we can talk about our adventures and remember the adventures as our characters, not as ourselves, not as sitting around at a table eating Cheetos or pepperoni pizza, which, by the way, is giving me a little bit of heartburn, but it happens when you're 38. But still, it's a powerful experience, and I think everybody should experience it. Everybody should go through it. And that was the great thing about 5e. 5e allowed me to bring it to my office. It allowed me to bring it to a tech company and show all these people who'd never played D&D before, either because they thought it was too nerdy or because they thought the rules were too complicated. It gave me a simplified version of the rules that I could introduce to people, and that so they could experience it. And pretty much everybody that I ran the game for became hooked. And I don't think it's because of my skills. It's because of that experience. It's how powerful it is. So if by sitting here and starting to put out DM content the way that these other fantastic DMs do, and just being me, if that inspires somebody to play the game, then fuck, I'm in. I'll figure it out. I'll get a camera. I'll get a better camera because I'm just using my MacBook camera. I'll get a mic. I'll get some lights and stuff. I'll figure it out. But like, I just wanted to share this tonight because it means so much to me, and I think, and you know, I'm not an expert DM in any way. I haven't released any supplements. I'm not on DM's Guild. I've never been to Gen Con. I'm not one of these personalities. I'm just a person who loves the game, who appreciates it, and who likes fucking with the rules. So if you're like me and you want to talk about D&D and you want to fuck around with the rules a bit and find ways to make it fun and make it interesting for you, then let's do it. I'm here for that. And I'll put together content. I'll put together some real content soon so we can start talking about it. But I just wanted to start this intro from a place of honesty where it's not edited. You know, I may have done a couple of takes, but honestly, it's not edited. It's just one long video of me ranting and talking about how much I love the hobby, how much I love D&D, and how much I love the content that people put out. Because ultimately, that's all I want to do. I want to do the same stuff that you guys do. And I don't care about how many people watch this, or if I get any views at all. As long as like somebody gets some kind of, as long as it inspires somebody. Shit, if it inspires somebody else to do something better than I do, because they see me, just failing at this, then that's worth it in and of itself. So I'm excited for this. I don't have a name for the channel yet. I don't know what to call it. I go by Mars, maybe DM Warlos. I have no clue. But for now, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching, and thank you once again to all the creators who inspired me to do this. I'll put links to all the content creators that I talked about down in the doobly-doo. Matt, that one's for you. Yeah, have a great day, night, week. I don't know how this works. Time is fluid in YouTube. Anyway, I want you to have a great time, and if you're playing, I hope you have the best time, and if you're not playing, then find a way to play. Thanks.